up, everybody? Welcome back. Good morning, good evening, good night, whatever time it is you guys are watching this. So, different content. No content with Tonka. I did get the airbox bolted up. I'm probably gonna take that back off. I'm my biggest critic, and I want to use rib nuts. It'll make it easier on myself in the future. So, yeah, changing that up. But had a company reach out. As you see, we are doing content on Snow Bunny. But that being said, even though they reached out, wanted me to review these headlights, good or bad, you guys are gonna know. They were kind enough to give me a coupon code, and it's IG Slay. Same thing we use with Top to Bien engine carts, but I'm not gonna, just put them on Tonka and you guys not know durability, longevity. I daily drive Snow Bunny, so hour drive to work, hour drive home, the lights are gonna get used. But let's start this vlog a little ass backwards to make it easier on myself, but let's get started. So they ended up sending me headlight bulbs and reverse light bulbs. These will be in a different video. I'm gonna clean each housing, the sealed beam housings and the H4 conversions, to give everyone a fair, even chance. But sealed beams, they're not gonna be that good, so don't be too surprised. These ones are already in the car with normal H4 bulbs, and I could see everything. Night and day difference. Worth it. I bought them from NightRunGarage, and worth every penny. Been on the car for at least a year now, over a year. They don't leak, and they are a nice OEM plus look. But once I do that, showcase these, I'll install these crappy ones. They're really clean, they look nice, they're not yellow, but you can't see anything. And then finally I'll showcase the H4 housings with the LED bulb. A lot of activity tonight, evidently, so I got people running from cops in the area and all sorts of stuff. You guys could probably hear the sirens right now. But if you don't know, Mk3 Supras, this would be vertical adjustment, so up and down, and then this would be a horizontal adjustment, which would be right and left. You take the beauty trim piece off, this little garment, 2 screws on each side, which I already did so. This pops off, and then they're held in by 4 Phillips screws. So if your headlights are adjusted fine, don't touch these. I made that mistake when I very first installed these. Do not touch this. I thought it came out. Nope, I was turning the headlight inward, but or outward, whichever direction. But got this somewhat cleaned up. Only take out the 4 screws. Alright, so just to showcase, these are what the H4 conversions look like. Very bright already. I have HIDs in the lowers, but you can already tell. Of course, I'm going to showcase it whenever it gets dark. Here's my high beams. If you know the sealed beams of the Mk3 Supras or any sealed beam headlight, they are not that good. I highly recommend this. Like I said, I drive this car hour a day, hour to work, hour home, and it makes a world of a difference. If with long travel and commute, you realize good headlights are really important. Washer fluid's important depending on the weather, and then of course bugs. You could stop by a gas station, but if there's none around, you're screwed. Good wipers and good tires. Snow Bunny. But I do get it as well. If you are not a fan of LEDs, don't go LEDs. Just do the H4 conversion and get you some normal H4 bulbs, the halogen bulbs or whatever they're called. Me, why not? I figured if I like them, I like them. If I don't, I don't. But you can buy some crappy LEDs. I have in the past whenever I was younger. Bought like $20 Amazon ones, switched directly back to HIDs. Yes, they're like $20, $30 HIDs, but they were definitely better than the LED bulbs I had. So that's what kind of why I want to showcase these, because if they're good or they're bad, I don't want to advertise it if they're bad, right? Alright guys, so we're on the test road. Just so you guys know, I'm being safe. No traffic. This is literally the middle of nowhere. Just one of those old roads on the back of a highway. Right now we're on low beam, fog lights, and just letting you guys know I'm being safe. I'm not driving somewhere with traffic. And then this would be no fog lights and high beams. Already a really big difference compared to the sealed beams, which you'll see in a second. But yeah. Alright guys, so I got one sealed beam in. I already lost one screw, so I was kind of, this is another reason why I kind of sound irritated in this vlog, because I knew stuff like this would happen. You could kind of see the light differences between the two. But yeah, no, it's just all the extra noise in the background, weather, and how many times I tried to shoot this vlog. So if I sound irritated, I do apologize. Alright guys, back at the house. I'm not even going to show you the sealed beam. We got people, you know, it's getting closer to summertime when there's drunk people yelling outside. So that's kind of annoying. Try to get this box open real quick. What up, Gunner? Alright, so just to give you some gloves. I don't think those are gonna, they might stretch, but here are the LED bulbs. As we know, you could buy some crappy ones. These ones don't seem terrible. I guess we'll find out once I put them on the car. They do in fact fit. They stretch. It's my Gunner. One bulb out, LED in. Alright guys, LEDs in. Lost the screw for the vlog. Oh, damn. Alright guys, so this is low beams, this is high beams, and I do not have fog lights. I believe it's because Toyota wired it in series rather than separate, because the fog lights are wired into low beams. So whenever I flip the fog light button, it doesn't do anything. But maybe once it's wired separately rather than in series, then that would have fog lights. But these lights are pretty bright. Yeah, not bad. At least right now, I don't have any issues. The only issue is probably just the vehicle itself. Alright guys, so this will conclude this video. Thank you for watching. Yeah, these LEDs are not terrible. I don't believe that it's the company's fault that my fog lights don't currently work. I believe it's just because it's wired in series to the low beams. That's just so once the headlights are off, the fog lights are off. They don't stay on. So once I rewire them and they're on their own separate circuit, they should work. And yeah, I just gotta remember to turn the fog lights off whenever I quit driving. But other than that, yeah, stay blessed, stay slammed, most importantly keep gunning. If you find something you like, feel free to use the discount code. You get 15% off LEDs or automotive accessories. And yeah, it's there if you need it. If you don't need it or you don't want it, that's perfectly fine also. Catch you guys next time.